Hi people, this is Louise from Tarot Breeze. I thought I might just do this video on how I trim my decks. Actually I'm quite handy, but having trimmed some decks with scissors, with like good scissors like this Visca scissor, etc. It just didn't really work out, to be honest, and although I find it really meditative, I wasn't really pleased with the results. So I tried to develop a little method on how to trim decks. And what you need, if you are willing to try this out, you need a cutting mat. It's a really good idea to have. And then you need something really stable and firm on this mat. And this is like a large stone, what do you call that? Well, it's flat and it's made of stone. And then you need a one of those blade cutters, and you need a ruler, and preferably you need a transparent one, which I don't have, but that would be nice. So don't do what I do when it comes to the ruler. You know, the reason why I wanted to do this now is that I got the Tatoo Tarot, which was like a cheap, fun thing to get. Comes in this box, and well, I wasn't too pleased with it, to be honest. When it comes to the design, I mean, look at those cards, they are like huge. And since this deck actually does want to associate itself with a sort of Marseille styled deck, it is definitely not Marseille, but it's non-scenic pips, sort of. Since it does want to, especially in the major arcana, it does want to make references to a pip style, or to a Marseille style deck. Yeah, oh yeah, now I'm showing you what I did. Yeah, then I decided to trim it. And actually I quite like this version of the deck. I'm going to zoom in a bit to see if, yeah. So here we have the Devil, and it's a very, very, very simple and easy deck to trim because, as you can tell, the lines are just so easy to follow. And they are not they're not focused, they're not printed right in the middle, so some of them will get a little skewed when it comes to the backs, but it's hardly anything. I don't really mind at all. This is not a deck that I feel really connected to, and it's not a deck that I have a lot of emotions for or about, and so I decided to trim it. And let me just show you what I do. You just take your card, and let's see if I can actually manage to do this with the tripod in front of me. Actually, the card is going to disappear because there is some sort of... Oh, damn. Sorry about that. On my French. The point is that the card shouldn't disappear like this. But it does, because there is a bit of a slope here. Okay, I'm going to try to pull down the camera a bit. I'm so sorry about that. But anyways, the card is supposed to stay like this, and it does down here, but not here, because there is the surface is bending a bit, because there are tons of things on this table of creativity that I and my kids have made. So anyways, you take the card and you rest it against this surface that doesn't move, and then you take your ruler and you place it where you want it to be, and in this case just outside of this black line, which would be much more easy to do if you had a transparent ruler. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold this really tight, and then remember not to do this, but to remove your fingertips so as not to cut them. Oh shit. Ouch! Sorry. Okay, don't do as I do. This is impossible with a tripod between you and the blade. Never ever do this with a tripod between you and your cutting, dangerous cutting tool. So guys, it's impossible to do it with a tripod between you and this thing. So anyways, if you happen to do it right, then it should come off like this, and you know, look like that. In this case it got really wrong, but I'll do it afterwards and just show you the final cards that I made. Oh, this is wonderful. Don't cut yourself. Don't cut yourself. Don't do like me. So I'm going to put a little piece of white paper here so that it's easier to see the cards. I'm going to just put them here because I really like this, to be honest. And now I am hoping to become friends with this deck, which I wasn't before. It simply was too big. If you compare with this one, I think they look just far more stylish like this. Really like it. And yeah, I'm satisfied. I'm really satisfied. So this is what they look like, and they will shuffle far better because of the size. I mean, it was really like a huge deck, or it is a huge deck, and it's really thick as well. Cards are extremely thick. And it's just like, I mean, it's a brick. Can you see it? It's so thick. And it's not thick, to be honest, in the sensuous way. If that makes sense. It's just thick and heavy, like a brick. And so I'm hoping that this is going to give it some air and some tightness and some Marseille sort of feel to it. This is not a high-end deck. It was quite cheap. I got it on Book Depository, but this really made it far more interesting, because it does mean a lot how the cards feel, doesn't it? It does mean a lot how you hold them, etc. How it feels when you shuffle them, and how you get acquainted with the deck and how you hold them. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe I should show you. Just wanted to show you, yeah, a couple of just two other decks that I did. I did quite a lot actually in this way, but like with the cutting blades, and this is, I think it's the Harmonious Tarot, isn't it called the Harmonious Tarot? I haven't used it for a long time. It's my best friend's favourite deck of mine. And it is tiny, and it's not the mini version. I saw that you can get a mini version of this one, but it's actually not the mini. This has become a mini version, which is so cute. And what else did I do? I did the oh yeah, Well Done. Oh my goodness, that was a horror. That was just horror to trim. This is like the 3rd edition or 4th or whatever, so it's really the very mass-produced deck, and trimming it was terrible because the world unknown, of course, is not having straight lines. You know, that's really the point. So this took me ages to get it nice and beautiful, and I'm quite happy with that as well, to be honest. It really gives it a certain and they just pop out, as you say. I love it. Love it. Also, size-wise, it's just far better to hold in the hand and shuffle and all that. Also a thick one, by the way. Yeah, and one last thing, you know, I'm not going to cut or round the corners on this one. I like that it is just having those pointy corners. I really like that. Just like in the old days. So, anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope that my little trimming session might help you somehow. And remember, don't do as I do, do as I tell you to do. Alright, ciao!